Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Fluctus Channel. India's railways reflect the country's diversity. High-speed intercity trains cross plains and megacities, while tiny mountain locomotives crawl past tea gardens, roadside shops, and Himalayan ridges. Among the most unusual is the Darjeeling Himalayan Railway, a narrow-gauge line where trains sometimes climb by moving backward before continuing forward again. Known as the toy train, the railway links New Jalpaiguri with Darjeeling in West Bengal. Construction began in 1879, and the line opened through to Darjeeling in 1881. Its track gauge is only 2 feet, or 610 millimeters, allowing trains to negotiate sharp curves and squeeze through settlements where the rails often run beside roads. The challenge was altitude. The route rises from the low plains near New Jalpaiguri toward Goom, more than 2,200 meters above sea level, before descending into Darjeeling. A direct climb would have been too steep for the small steam locomotives. Engineers therefore use loops and zigzags to gain height gradually. At a reverse, the train arrives on one section of track and stops. A pointsman changes the switch, and the driver then moves the train backward onto a higher alignment. After another stop and switch change, the locomotive moves forward again. The train has gained altitude without requiring a large circular curve or tunnel. From inside a coach, the movement can feel strange. Passengers who are facing uphill find themselves traveling backward, with the locomotive pushing or pulling from a different direction. The driver watches signals, whistles, and controls speed, because homes, shops, pedestrians, cars, and animals may stand only a few feet from the track. The most scenic feature is Batavia Loop, where the line curves around itself while gaining elevation. Goom is the highest station on the route, and the railway passes steep forested sections, villages, workshops, and tea-growing areas. Steam locomotives operate services, although diesel engines are also used. The journey can take hours because speeds are low and conditions are demanding. Shorter joyrides usually run from Darjeeling to Goom and back, often stopping at Batavia Loop and the Railway Museum. Schedules vary by season, weather, maintenance, and demand, so crews must work around landslides, rain, road traffic, and the limited passing space of a single narrow-gauge line. The railway once carried both passengers and quantities of freight. Tea, mail, food, building materials, and household goods moved between the plains and the hill communities. By 1910, the line was carrying about 174,000 passengers and 47,000 tons of goods. Today, tourism dominates many services, but local passengers still use the line when trains are available. In 1999, UNESCO added the Darjeeling Himalayan Railway to the World Heritage List, recognizing it as an outstanding example of mountain railway engineering. Its survival depends on workshops, track crews, locomotive crews, and station staff maintaining technology designed more than a century ago. An operating day begins with inspection. Crews check water, coal or fuel, lubrication, brakes, couplings, whistles, and the condition of the track. The locomotive must build pressure before departure, while coaches are cleaned and connected. Along the route, staff monitor switches and confirm that road crossings are clear. The journey is slow, smoky, and sometimes uncomfortable, but that is its appeal. Passengers hear the exhaust beat, smell coal smoke, and watch the train weave through communities at walking pace. Few railways place travelers close to the landscape. The backward climb is not a stunt. It is an elegant answer to geography, created when engineers had limited machinery but a need to connect Darjeeling with the plains. Every reverse proves that progress does not always mean moving straight ahead. Thousands of kilometers away, another strange railway machine survives in Colorado. The automobile-like Galloping Goose, created during the Great Depression. The Rio Grande Southern Railroad served mountain communities in southwestern Colorado. Operating full steam trains was expensive, as traffic declined. To reduce costs, the railroad's workshops built self-propelled rail cars from automobile bodies, truck frames, and railway equipment. Their bouncing movement, exposed engines, and unusual horns inspired the nickname Galloping Goose. Several machines were constructed during the 1930s, each with different designs. They carried passengers, mail, express packages, and light freight. Instead of firing up a steam locomotive and assembling several coaches, a small crew could start one gasoline-powered railcar and cover the route with far lower fuel and labor costs. The Colorado Railroad Museum in Golden preserves 3 Rio Grande Southern motor cars, Goose numbers 2, 6, and 7. Number 7 is the largest of the group. Built in 1936, it combined a Pierce Arrow passenger car body with a long rear freight compartment. It measured about 21 feet and weighed roughly 7 tons originally, although later modifications changed its machinery and appearance. Preparing one for operation begins before visitors arrive. Museum crews inspect condition of the body. Lubrication points receive oil or grease, fluid levels are checked, and mechanics look beneath the vehicle for problems. The tires of an automobile are replaced by steel railway wheels, so every bearing and flange matters. The engine is started and allowed to warm, while the operator watches, gauges, and listens for irregular sounds. Brakes are tested at low speed, and the transmission is engaged. Because the railcar cannot simply steer around an obstruction, the route must be cleared and switches aligned before movement begins. At the museum, turntables help reverse or reposition equipment. The Goose rolls onto the circular platform, stops near the center, and is secured. Staff then rotate the bridge until the rails line up with the desired track. Once locks are engaged, the driver eases the motor car forward. The museum also operates steam equipment, creating a contrast. The Goose requires preparation too, but its automobile-style controls and internal combustion engine explain why it once offered such a practical alternative. Inside, passengers sit in the forward car body, surrounded by windows and vintage fittings. The driver controls throttle, gears, brakes, horn, and direction from the front. The rear section, once used for freight and mail, demonstrates how one compact machine replaced a small mixed train. Before a public ride, staff confirm passenger limits, inspect steps and handrails, brief riders, and close access points. The goose then moves slowly through the museum grounds. At crossings, the operator sounds the horn, watches for pedestrians and vehicles, and follows signals from ground personnel when necessary. The experience is less about speed than mechanical character. Passengers hear the engine, feel the rail joints, and watch the long nose follow curves around the museum. Unlike a modern train, the driver sits only a short distance away, making every gear change and brake application noticeable. Their survival depends on patient maintenance and crews who understand both automotive and railway technology. Every ride preserves an ingenious response to economic hardship in motion. Narrow-gauge trains still perform agricultural work in parts of Indonesia. Small locomotives pull long lines of loaded wagons from fields toward factories, using lightly built tracks reaching farming areas. The work begins with the driver and mechanics preparing the locomotive. Older locomotives demand close attention because harsh conditions expose weaknesses. In agricultural areas, rails may be narrow, uneven, and surrounded by soft soil. Machinists and local workers inspect joints, sleepers, points, and embankments. Where the harvest has moved farther into the plantation, short sections of portable track can be carried forward and connected closer to the collection site. Workers lift rails by hand or with simple tools, align them, place sleepers beneath, and secure the joints. Mud and vegetation can slow the work. Buffaloes may help pull wagons, equipment, or bundles through places where engines cannot yet reach. This mixture of animal power, manual labor, and machinery keeps the harvest moving even when infrastructure is basic. Sugarcane is cut in the fields. Workers remove leaves, gather the stalks, and load them into open wagons. Cane is bulky and awkward, so the load must be distributed evenly. Stalks extending too far beyond the wagon can strike vegetation, workers, or structures beside the track. Crews therefore push and arrange the cane before coupling the wagons together. The driver approaches slowly and stops near the loading area. Couplers are connected, brake lines or chains are checked where fitted, and the number of wagons is compared with the locomotive's pulling ability. Too much weight in notches, wheel slip, overheating, or failure on weak rails. Drivers also exchange signals with workers beside the track using whistles, hand movements, and shouted warnings whenever engine noise prevents ordinary conversation during loading and departure operations. The journey can still be long. Speed remains low because track conditions change constantly. Rain softens the formation, weeds cover rails, and temporary repairs may require the train to stop. At difficult sections, crew members walk beside the locomotive, inspect the path, and guide the driver past weak joints or obstacles. At the factory, loaded wagons pass to a weighing point. The recorded weight establishes how much cane has arrived and helps determine payment or production records. Wagons are then unloaded so the stalks can enter the crushing process. Empty wagons return toward the fields for another cycle. The railway supports more than the factory. Communities along the route depend on the seasonal work, and local vendors turn fresh stalks into sugarcane juice. Cane is peeled, pressed through rollers, and served as a sweet drink, creating small businesses beside the larger agricultural system. From the Himalayan toy train to Colorado's Galloping Goose and Indonesia's harvest locomotives, old rail technology survives because each machine still connects people, places, and work. One climbs by reversing, another combines an automobile with railway wheels, and the last carries crops from muddy fields to market. That is the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Make sure to subscribe to this channel so you don't miss any of our new content. See you next time.